Hey, welcome to another broadcast, and we're excited to have Samantha with us here today. This will not be normal,
to say the least.
To say the least, but we're glad that y'all are joining us, either watching or listening. Welcome, Samantha.
Hello.
To the Victor Mark Show.
Thank you for having me.
We have a low budget, so we don't have any music right now.
That's all right.
Dun-dun.
I figured you would improvise.
Yeah, that's about all I can do. Excuse me while I check this text. Okay.
Don't mind me.
No, hang on. We're just filming.
I'm here
for
you. Okay.
And I feel you. Thanks, sister. Hey, you guys. Samantha is a dear friend, a colleague, and a partner in ministry in the work encounter, trafficking, and aftercare. You are based out of Las Vegas?
Yes.
Nevada.
Yep.
And I literally came in just a few minutes ago with this vest on without a shirt.
Yes.
Maybe we'll post a picture.
Yes.
And said, hey, where do I start dancing?
Well, because technically this time of the year, we're normally at the porn convention. So since we're not there this year because it went virtual, you were just improvising.
Virtual. Should I submit a video of me dancing?
I think the cutoff has already passed. So
would you have recommended it though?
I don't know if I could have vouched for you.
A little past that. Yeah. Money.
But there's always a market for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always an audience.
So at my age, is it the dinosaur market? It's the Jera.
The poor listeners, they're like,
Yeah. So hang with us.
Are they going to talk about Jesus?
Yes.
Or?
Well, you just said it. We've said his name, and there you have it. No, we talk about faith, family, friends, freedom. And we love having guests that are doing unique things that move the needle against the kingdom of darkness and advance the kingdom of God. And sister, you are in that realm. So tell our audience a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. So I run RubiesLV. It's based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. We help women and children that have been sexually exploited and or trafficked, as well as their families. So we know that not only does the sexual exploitation and trafficking affect the victim, but it also sends a ripple effect throughout the family.
Okay, let's pause right there.
Yep.
You just said, and you reiterated it, but you help the families. Mm-hmm. Those of you listening, is that something that you've ever heard before when talking about certain organizations and ministries helping those who've been trafficked, that you help the families?
Yeah.
You have a heart for that, don't you?
Yes, because we know firsthand what the effects are on the family. We didn't start off like that, where we were ministering and helping the families as well. We became fictive kin foster parents. And so within doing that, for two little children that belonged to a gal that we were ministering to, we realized that in Las Vegas, Nevada, there's not only 3,600 children in traditional foster care, but then there's 38,000 children in fictive kin foster care.
Wait. Okay, let me process again, because I've never even heard that statistic. Did you say 38,000?
38,000 children in fictive kin foster care. And fictive kin foster care is when the child has been removed from bio parents. Okay. Instead of going to a traditional foster home, a fictive care foster home is either a family friend or a family member, somebody that the children already have a bond with. So that's always the healthier option than the children or the child going to a home that they don't know anybody there.
Is that for the state?
That's just for Las Vegas.
So is that the county or city?
Yeah, it's just the city. Yeah. And then so right now we're working with another nonprofit in town named Foster Kinship, and they are collecting data for us on how many of those children and families are coming through their doors for aid and assistance that belong to bio parents that have either been sexually exploited and or trafficked, or one of the parents is a trafficker.
Gosh. That's staggering. I mean, it's both sad and staggering to hear that number. That's just one city or one county.
Yeah.
Not to mention across the United States.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in this?
So we started our ministry because I first shared my story with Annie Lobert from Hookers for Jesus, and I was Annie's executive assistant for 3 years. And she mentored me, she poured into me. And
how did you get to be her assistant? I mean, what?
I met her at church, and I thought she did hair. So I started talking to her about hair and makeup.
Right.
And so once I started talking to her, she wound up telling me, she's like, I said, do you do hair or makeup or something? And she's like, no. She's like, I run a ministry. And I was a baby Christian. I was like, what's that? What's a ministry? Wow. And so then she started sharing with me, and I had never shared my story. And so I felt safe to tell her my story. Like, she wouldn't judge me. She would, could talk to me. And
could you share that right now?
Yeah. So what I shared with her was that I had worked in the sex industry. I worked in an all-nude strip club from 18 to 21. I left when I was 2.5 months pregnant with my daughter. And I also sold myself to my female clients. So I worked in an industry that I thought I knew everything about. But once I was in it, there was so much more to it than what I had thought I had known.
So, okay, you're a teenager.
Yeah.
18. And you're going to start stripping. It seemed reasonable.
Yeah.
Was the money good?
It was. And my father had passed away when I was 16. My father was a veteran, and I grew up in a very strict home. So 2 weeks after my father passed away, I was
off the rails.
Yeah. Because I wasn't under the thumb anymore, right? And so there was just no structure. My dad passed away. My mom started working 10, 12-hour days, housekeeping. And
you're 16. I'm
16. I started doing drugs. I'm super promiscuous because my dad was so hard. There was always like Papa Bear, right? But there was never no like soft teddy bear. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
There was no balance.
Wow.
And so I always longed and craved to be loved, right? And to have validation and feel accepted. And so I looked for it in all the wrong places. I thought that I would get it by just, sleeping with different guys and sleeping with different women. Always trying to find it and grasp it, but it felt like air, like I was grasping air. It felt like, okay, this is it. And then I thought I would have a grip on it, and it was nothing, constantly trying to fill that void. So when I turned 18, I had a neighbor that lived in our building, and she worked at that strip club.
Okay.
And I saw, she was saving up money. She was buying a car cash. She was saving up cash to buy a house. So I figured, well, I could go and work, and I could buy me and my mom a house. I could go to college. I could do something with myself. And I'm trying to figure out how I can be self-sufficient.
So logically, that's why I referenced this early. It's a logical, reasonable approach for many young girls that need to make a paycheck. And you're willing to, in some cases, compromise. Yeah. But
there was no value, anyways. I had no self-value.
Right.
So for me, I'm already giving it away.
Okay.
Might as well get paid.
Right. And it's not that you have to have sex with anybody.
No.
You're just going to get on stage or...
Yeah.
Did they have poles?
Yes.
Did you work a pole?
Yes.
Would you like to see some of my moves?
I'm pretty sure they're not...
No?
I never was in the pole Olympics.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure your skills are probably not that.
I gotta stretch out a lot.
Yeah. Might want to get Eileen's permission too.
and a lot of coconut oil.
Yeah. No.
What? I don't want to burn myself.
No, you don't want to slide off that pole and break your nose on the floor. I've seen a girl do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was she upside down?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just kind of want to hang on to it like hug a tree. I don't know if the dollars are going to fly for that, especially fully clothed. But
some of the listeners right now are like, I don't know if I should be laughing.
Yeah, I'm sure the stations are going, unplug it, quick, stop the broadcast, stop the broadcast.
Listen, we have to joke because we've seen a lot, we've been through a lot, and this is just one of our coping mechanisms.
Yeah, truly. So, I mean, it is, and
it's cool if we do it, but don't do it to us.
Don't you dare! we may hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
So you get to a strip club. You don't have to have sex. At some point,
let me explain it to you so you can understand in context. So what's basically happening is I'm basically, in like a bikini, and guys are buying lap dances. Okay. You're literally sitting in their laps. So put 2 and 2 together.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you're still doing stuff, and then the girls that want to make more money, the girls that were like, having, big trucks and putting Hemis in them and buying them cash and doing this and that, like those girls are making bank. So you're like, well, what are those girls doing? Interesting. And they're doing more in the back.
Right.
And so the worlds collide. A lot of people think like, oh, well, stripping has nothing to do with sex trafficking or porn or this or that. But
not true.
Everything is so intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the myth of people thinking, I can go to a club. I can, I'm helping her, giving some money. It's not like I can watch porn. It's not a big deal. It's just, but it is all intertwined. It's just a form.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then while we're on stage, at least at the club that I worked at, there were 2 jumbotrons on the side of the stage, and they're playing porn while we're up on stage.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like it's like there's a lot going. I mean, full force coming at the guys that are coming in, right? And so
what do they do with that?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So yeah, everything is intertwined. People think like, oh, this has nothing to do with this or nothing to do with that, but they do. They overlap, and that's a common misconception. When
in your career, in that time, in that season of your life, did you realize, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is hurting me. This is not. It's not what I thought.
I think because I didn't grow up in a Christian household. My father was military and very stern and cold, and I didn't know what love was. So for me, I think because of that lack of love, you don't really realize value and worth. So you don't really realize that you're in bad situations. I mean, I said, I seen a girl break her nose on stage. I seen girls running out of the rooms because the guy that's back there with her is, trying to do something. I've seen guys that come into the club get ticked off at a girl and break a chair on her.
Oh God.
Just different things. Pimps coming in with their bottoms, with the bottom girl, which is like their main girl, to recruit other girls. And you just kind of get desensitized, I think, especially because of the music I was listening to. Everything is made so normal. It's made to seem so normal. So you're thinking like all of this is normal. This is just a regular environment.
All right. Let me just pause for a second. You said the music you're listening to.
Yeah.
You never hear that anymore. You don't hear people or pastors or leaders talk about the effects that music can have on a person. Yeah. You just said, well, probably the music. What were you listening to? Lawrence Welk? Backwards?
Right. I can't even remember anymore because it's been so long. But I know I was
explicit.
Oh, it's completely degrading. Explicit. Like, 2 Live Crew. Uncle Luke, it's just too short.
And that to then now, as it got worse. Oh
my gosh!
Parents, are you listening? Are you listening? Caregivers, look. When your kids are in the house, please take a stand. Explain to them that music. Explain to them that Satan, the devil, was in charge of worship in heaven, and when he fell, He actually perverted the music. And it is to desensitize. It's a type of psychological operations, you could say, to move a person from morals and what you kind of know is wrong to, wow, this is really, really, who cares anymore?
Yeah.
It's the norm, what you hang out with. So I think that's definitely the narrative and messaging that comes through me. I don't care about the beat, whatever it is, you know. But the words pack such a big punch. And I think it didn't really dawn on me that I was in a bad situation because you're so self-deceived. It's such a big illusion. I'm selling an illusion. I'm selling that I want to be there. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Oh, I'm so sorry. She's being so mean to you. Let's go to the back, you know? But you
Let's
didn't mean
forget
it?
about... No, I don't mean any of that. I don't care how your day's going. I'm just trying to get paid. I don't care about none of that.
Man, listen up.
We're going to call this killing the fantasy, you know? So for me, I think the point where I did realize that I was in a not good situation was, we were having a conversation in the locker room in the back, and I had said, well, at least I'm not hoeing out on the corner out there. And one of the girls grabbed me by my arm and was like, the last time I checked, you go up on that stage and you're selling she's like, so you're a hoe, you still hoeing.
Bum, bum,
and then it was like a bomb went off. Yeah, in my brain I was like, I'm a hoe. And then I was just like, I think the shock lasted for about 5 minutes. Then I was like, well, I gotta go make my money. So rent still due, because when you work, when you work in the strip club, you walk in owing them money, so you have to pay rent for that night. So I walk in, I automatically owe the house $100.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, and then out of every dance that I do, that I charge each client, I have to give them X amount of money.
Oh my gosh!
So if it's
I didn't know that, which tells you I'm not experienced in that world.
If it's a $20 dance, I got to give the house $5 of that. So I might say, if I'm talking to a guy, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, well, you know, tonight the dances are extra special, so they're $25. Because then I'm thinking I'm keeping my 20 and I'm making the house $5.
It's business.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, do you think they make enough money off of liquor? Well,
the strip club that I worked at was all nude and in California, so you can't serve liquor. And I'm pretty sure that the ones in Vegas also, that's how they function also, as you can't, if you're all nude, you can't serve liquor. There's only one strip club in Las Vegas that was grandfathered in.
Wow.
That is all nude and they serve liquor, but there's only one.
So really, it's a lot of hard work every night that you step in, or day or whatnot.
Yeah.
So you said it lasted 5 minutes and then
the shock wears off. Because then, you know, at that time, like I said, you're just so desensitized, you know, and you hear it in the music. It's not a big deal. I mean, at that time, though, you didn't tell anybody what you were doing. Okay. Now, if you're a stripper, it's like you open up somebody's Instagram that's in their bio, you know, I'm, you know, Lily at Sapphires.
Yeah, Trixie Little Longlegs.
Yeah, come see me Monday through Friday or Friday through Monday. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
The culture that we live in, folks, I think it's appropriate to say things are getting worse, not better.
Oh, no. Yeah, for sure.
I believe we're in a funnel. I consider like a funnel that's getting smaller and smaller, what I would consider the end days. Because we have faith and we look at the Bible, and that's kind of what I see. But it's also like the frog in the water, right? Slowly getting warmer and warmer until it's boiling. And it concerns me for the next generation. God can pull anybody out. He can save anyone, the uttermost, the whosoever's. But yet we as adults we've got kids. Yeah. I'm a grandfather. We have to be concerned responsibly about their future. Yeah. And I'm glad for people like you who don't walk in shame or guilt, but walk in power and newness of life to go, hey, and understand a calling. Because like we've like you said, I mean, we would normally be at the porn convention with your team and ours because we partner together, reaching, showing love. Does it help when you're in that industry for Christians to hold up signs and say you're going to burn and go to hell, like some Christians were doing when we were at the porn convention? Yeah, remember that?
No, and I have to really fight myself to not sit and go, why didn't anybody come into the club and talk to me? Why? I had a nonprofit reach out to me from California, close to the club that I used to work at over there, and they said, oh yeah, we were wondering if you could help us with this girl, blah blah blah. I said, oh, I know where you guys are. I used to work at such and such strip club, and they were like, oh yeah. They were like, yeah, we've been here for 25 years. The first thing that flew out of my mouth, I said, well, where were you when I was there?
Oh my gosh.
And I dead set meant it, because it wasn't even a nonprofit, it was a ministry. And it just flew out of my mouth so fast, because I think the little girl in me was upset. Like,
cried for help.
Why didn't you come get me? And even if I would have cussed you out, or like it would have planted a seed, like, hey, I remember that one lady tried to talk to me. So for me, I know for a fact, the signs that tell me that stand outside of, porn conventions or strip clubs or whatever, and they're like, you guys are whores, you're going straight to hell, this and that, that's not going to help. And if anything, right now is the time to rise up, because like you said, it's getting worse. Yeah. It's getting worse, and we need to show people that there is hope, that there is love, that there is forgiveness, all in Jesus, and that Jesus holds the keys to restoration and redemption, and starting the restoring process, the rebuilding process of their lives.
Where you are with your organization and ministry, you are effective, well vetted, because we don't work with many at this time in counter sex trafficking or aftercare or whatnot, because we're very selective.
Right.
And
as you should be.
As we should be, because there are. Have you seen organizations out there doing the wrong thing?
Oh yes, all the time. I just interviewed Sarah Jane Vegas, that runs Stand for Justice, for our podcast, and that was one of the things that we talked about, is the wrong verbiage that's being used when they're addressing victims, or just wastefulness of funds being collected, and then it's just for posters and pamphlets. It never impacts the victims or the victims' families' lives, ever.
And again, that's a passion that you have, because you've seen it firsthand. You've been there. So let me ask you, how can people listening who are moved by your story, encouraged and inspired, and go, wow, she's the real deal? And how can they help you in what you do? And there are some people you don't want their help.
Yeah.
I love when I get a bunch of emails going, brother, I think God's called me to go with you in that porn convention next year.
Yeah. You're like, oh, really? That's weird, because I didn't hear God tell me that.
Yeah. Let me send a quiet crew to your location, bust into your Wi-Fi, and check your browser history last 6 months, buddy.
Yeah. How does that work?
So people have to be called.
Yeah.
What would you say are some practical things people can do to help you?
Well,
when I say you, I'm talking about you and your husband, Joe. And
they can, first and foremost, pray for us and let us know that you're praying for us.
Oh, wait a minute. That's such a cliche. Prayers don't really work.
No, we need it so bad, because there's a special legion of demons that's assigned towards people that are fighting sex trafficking. It's not the same demons that are assigned to the folks that are helping out on Sunday nursery at church.
Yeah, mattress tag cutters.
Yeah.
This
is a whole other...
Yeah, you're kicking the hornet's nest, so prayer is essential.
Yeah.
And some of you that like, oh, well, I don't, prayers matter.
Yeah.
And like she said, let
us
them know that you're praying. So can they follow you on social media?
Yes, you can follow us at RubiesLV. You can visit our website, RubiesLV.com. There are, we're still in our grassroots phase.
Good.
So we're growing
Yep.
and fast. There's a lot of need, especially with everything that just happened in 2020. There were
Yep.
lots of girls that, everything was shut down. So there was no income. They can't apply for unemployment. So a lot of girls didn't have groceries, getting their power cut off.
What did they turn to?
We just told them that we would help them in any way that we could. So we were delivering groceries, helping out with whatever bills we could, clothing. So if people feel led to, after, checking us out, we've already been vetted through you guys, which is a very serious process and it's a good process. If they feel led to donate.
Yeah. So financial support matters.
Yeah, financial support matters. And I'll say this, and I've said this many times, is financially supporting and praying for survivor-led nonprofits. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Because we get discouraged really quick.
Yeah.
Really quick. And I know that people I know that people in ministry get discouraged as it is.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the enemy just tries to get in and lie to us. So for us, it packs a huge punch of encouragement.
So we need prayer and, of course, financial support, which brings me to this. We're in 2021, and ATP Ministries, because you're our partner, we're committing to giving you guys $10,000 for this year. I'm sorry, 10,000 pesos. I meant pesos. Did I say dollars? I don't know what the ratio difference. Gotcha.
Those don't equate.
Okay. Dinar? No, 10,000 smackaroonies, because we have very faithful partners that we are so grateful that people have supported us tremendously, and we support those who maybe they'll never be able to be intricately involved in it, but they know that we are doing the work to make sure vetting and watching, because some ministries start off good, some go sideways, And so anyway, we pray that this $10,000 will help further what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So,
and if people are listening and they can't give financially, but it maybe, they have run a Christian bookstore and they're like, hey, we can donate resources, books, this year we are looking to opening up a safe home, the first safe home in Nevada that'll take women that have children. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So there's so many.
Y'all gonna need that 10,000.
Yeah, if somebody's like, well, I'm an electrician or I'm a plumber,
Okay, good.
Resources like that, those are always good connections for us to have.
Those matter. So they can go to your website or they can contact us. We'll put them in contact with y'all. You guys, this matters. We get tired. I'm saying us. We get tired of people talking about, hey, rescue the children in underground tunnels throughout the United States that have submarines taking them overseas. We're like, really? Can we just focus on what's real and immediate? Hey, we do recover and rescue children in tunnels and closets and basements.
Yeah.
But please stop believing the hype, the extreme hype that makes you look to the left so bad things can continue on the right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
The gaslighting.
Yeah. And look, this is a serious war we're in. And if you're listening, and especially if you're a Christian and you're grooming someone or you're doing the wrong, I pray to God that you are caught and you repent. And if you get in our crosshairs, we will come for you, and we hope to pray with you, but we will seek to put you in jail for the longest possible time. And then you have a prison ministry. Yeah, just like Paul and some of these other guys in the New Testament. So
could be redeemed.
Yeah, we believe in hope and healing and grace, but we believe in the justice side.
Yes.
And would you say we've done well in that area?
Oh yeah. Yes. And that for us and with the girls that we talk to and deal with, because we deal with girls that are coming out of it and still in it or have been in it, right? The girls that are still in it, there's no hope there. As far as when we say the word justice, that doesn't mean anything to them, because there hasn't been any. There's nobody really fighting and willing to sacrifice
and do the hard thing, because it is, and obviously we've done this here in the U.S., overseas, Southeast Asia, and it is a hard work.
Yeah.
And we all need people praying and getting behind this and knowing that ultimately it's a battle between good and evil.
Yes.
And when you don't know that there's justice, it's heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And there's hopelessness that comes to us, like, well, okay.
This is how it is. You just accept it.
Yeah. But we're trying to move that needle through ATP Ministries, and thankful for our teams of very qualified people.
Yes.
And let's talk about that. Y'all are here this weekend.
Yeah.
In Colorado Springs at the headquarters.
Yes.
At our Leadership Training Center.
Yes.
And did you have fun?
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a really good time. We learned a lot. I was able to process a lot. I knew that I'd get triggered, and I knew that I needed to plow through it. And your team was so amazing and so caring. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people say, oh, I want to get involved and I want to help and I want to volunteer. But the thing is that not everybody can, because not everybody is equipped. So if the wrong person would have talked to me at the wrong time, it could have caused more damage. And I would have pulled back, and I would have stopped my processing.
Right.
Which I'm not here for that. I'm here to process and plow through.
So you learned some jiu-jitsu.
Yep. You
learned some blade work.
Yep.
You learned firearms.
Yep.
Safety and shooting. Leadership skills.
Learned how to put a puzzle together.
Hey, from a former
and I hate
special operations
puzzles. Yeah. Yes, when he was like, "We're gonna put puzzles together," I was like, "Oh, you suck."
I hate you right now.
Yeah.
So it was incredible training, and to have we had many trauma survivors and people who survivor leaders here this weekend. It was powerful.
Yeah.
And the Lord moved on a lot of hearts too, because there's a spiritual component.
Yes.
Powerful.
That's the main component, because when I was praying about who to bring with us, there were certain names that came to my head and they wound up coming. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not going to question God, and I don't have to know. He knows, and so, but then at the end of the weekend, I was like, oh, I mean, I knew you were doing something, but it's kind of cool when you get to see it. So yeah, I mean, man, I highly recommend it. The more jacked up you are, the better.
Come on down.
Yeah.
And we actually named this weekend after you. We called it the Samantha Weekend.
Yeah.
And we are talking about doing it annually to bring y'all back. It was a great team, great folks. And we definitely saw growth. Yeah. Because our desire is to help equip the leaders, people on the front lines. And while we run in different lanes in some areas, there's a unity that's needed and a covering and an alliance.
And that's super important too. When you said what is something that you can tell folks out there that are listening, ways that they can help us, not just our ministry, but other survivor-led ministries, is if you are already mature in your walk and you're already seasoned, pour into the next generations. We want to learn so bad. This morning I saw Chaz downstairs, and I was just picking up breakfast for my husband and I wound up just sitting there talking with Chaz, because I love fellowship with people that are older than us, because they have more life experience. They've already walked it. They've already gone through trial and error. If I can pick from that, I'm going to pick from that.
Yeah. And you know what? We're, our main team and the leadership here, we are a little bit longer in the tooth than some, and we've done the deal.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
For many years, and we feel that desire and direction of the Lord to pour into the next generation.
Yeah.
Bring them in. We brought all y'all in.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't have to pay for anything, did you?
Nope.
God provided.
Yeah.
And we're thankful for that, to be able to pour in and then send you back out into the battle, so to speak.
Yeah.
So last two questions. I have two questions that we try to end with. One is how would you explain, what's your perception of Eileen and I?
How much more time do we have? No, in all honesty,
if someone doesn't know us, how would you explain?
You know what? If somebody doesn't know you guys, I'm very selective, and I'm very cautious of people because we've seen a lot, we've been through a lot, not just in our BC days, but even being in ministry, behind the curtain, right, in all the green rooms, been in all of it, and I mean, I told Eileen a while back, I said, I don't think you guys are old enough to be my parents, but when I look at you guys, I feel like, I don't want to let down mom and dad, So for me, you guys are like spiritual parents. You guys are the safest people that I've been around in a very long time. And the first time we did the porn convention together,
that just sounds like, funny as a soundbite.
I know.
Just so y'all know.
The first time we did the porn convention together, just the way you guys kind of scooped me in, and it was like when I heard you joking at first, I was like, because I'm a lot like you, right? So I'm a lot like you, and my husband is a lot like Eileen. So there's a balance in the house, and so but I didn't know you guys, so I'm like, I should just be quiet because I don't want to offend nobody. And you were joking, and they were like, non-PC jokes, and we had just came out of being in the porn convention all day, and I was like, I looked at Eileen and I said, oh, I thought we weren't supposed to joke about what we do and stuff. And she's like, are you kidding me? She's like, that's the only way. How do you survive? And then she brought you in the conversation, and then you said, we have to joke around. Because this is how we're getting through. It's not like we're just, cradling the babies Sunday morning. We're boots on the ground. So for me, not even a perception, it's what I know of you and Eileen is you guys are people of integrity, unconditional love, and there's a tremendous amount of balance with reality.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't find that a lot in ministry, and that's what gets me weary and tired, where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore because
you don't have to.
Nobody, I know. I think I don't have to do this, and then I feel like I can feel the Holy Spirit in the back going, calling. You gonna have to do this, child, because I told you that's what you gonna do. And so for me, that balance of reality, and biblical values is extremely rare, and I wish more people honed that skill.
Well, we're praying for it, and thank you for the kind words. And what a responsibility and an honor it is for Eileen and I to be your spiritual parents.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm just fine.
So let's make that check for $10,100. And take that extra 100 and, I don't know, buy some mascara, whatever my daughters do, $100. Last question.
Yes.
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
If Christ didn't return, what happens for you? What do you believe when you die? What's going to happen? Why do you believe it?
That I'm going to be completely healed. My mind is going to be completely healed. I was really excited about that. I don't think I'll ever have that on this side. And that's okay. Because I've prayed and asked God, don't let me forget what you pulled me out of. I don't want to forget those smells. I don't want to forget those memories. Because I don't want to lose empathy and compassion for the girls that I deal with. Because it's hard sometimes, Yeah. The girls are so psychologically ensnared and deceived. Yeah. And they go back sometimes. So it's like, it's hard not to get frustrated. So I look forward to the complete healing of my mind. And it's funny because some people are like, the work you do, when you go to heaven, you're going to have this great big mansion and you're going to have so many jewels in your crown. And I'm like, you see that square of land out? I mean, this is perfect. Colorado Springs. I'm like, see that piece of land out there, even though the grass is dead from the winter. But if I could just have that with a little creek maybe running by it, as long as Jesus is with me and my mind is healed, I look so forward to that. So that's really why I haven't stopped doing ministry, because I know what he's called me to do. Yeah. And I don't expect this life to be easy. And I know that there's going to be hurt and pain and disappointments. And as bad as it's not fun, I just want to be with him, and I don't want to disappoint him. And I don't believe that I prayed a prayer one day and then that was it. Right. It says in the book of Revelation that you ran your race well to the end. And so I want to make sure that I do it well to the end. It's not going to be perfect, right? Because I'm not perfect, but I want to do it well to the end. And when I stand before him, I really want to hear those words. I'm so excited. I really pray that that's what I hear. It's not going to be perfectly done. My faithful servant, it's going to be well done. My good and faithful servant. Not my perfect servant. Yeah.
It's, I love that. And one of my sayings is, hey, it's never about perfection. Yeah. Jesus is the one who did that. Yeah. It's about direction. That's why we can put our faith and trust in him. Yeah. Because he's the one that gets us in. Yep. He's the one that keeps us. And I'm like you. If I can get an adobe in the corner of heaven somewhere, I don't care. I'm happy. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but I had a sweater on this weekend. It said the last. And I always have people say, why would you consider yourself the last? That's because everybody wants to be first. Right. Everybody wants to be in the forefront, right? Yeah. Everybody wants their picture plastered on. Yeah. I don't care about none of that. Yeah. In the Bible, it says the last will be first. So if I got to be last here so that I can see him first and get my healing.
Oh, man.
I'm really excited about that. That's what I'm aiming for.
I love your perspective and heart for it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for sharing with our audience. And many people will be praying for you. I got a feeling people will want to get behind and support the work that you're doing. And we'll get that 10,100 peso.
Dinar, something.
Quarters?
Yeah.
To you.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Quarters?
If they were 10,000 quarters, you should have done that. Oh my gosh, I would have died laughing.
I can still have it delivered in bags.
I don't care because I live in Las Vegas. We got coin feeders.
Joke's on you. All right, folks, stay close to the Lord and let's get it done.